G'day everybody, I'm Lloyd
I'm Darcy.
and today we're going to give you a bit of a walkthrough of our project with this slideshow. Our project being the food security problem in Cambodia. Want to give us a bit of a rundown?
Yeah, well, bit of an introduction. Cambodia is quite a small, remote country bordering Thailand and Vietnam. There's roughly a population of about 16 million, so pretty dense for the size of the country. Back in the 70s, there was a mass genocide that killed 1.5 to 2 million people, which is certainly a lot of people, and they're still kind of recovering from that. Their main food source, which is rice, doesn't sustain them for the whole year, so they resort to fishing during the dry season, and due to a number of factors, they suffer from some pretty severe food security problems.
I'll give you a bit of a background now. So, food security itself, it's not so much a shortage of food, it's somebody's access to food. And in this case, all year round access is what we're trying to achieve, all year round access to food. And during Cambodia's dry season, they can't grow rice, of course, because rice requires too much water. And so they sort of fall back on their fishing industry. But as a result, their waters are now becoming overfished.
Cool. Next slide.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so our objective is to solve this food security problem in Cambodia. And currently, they are missing food for a good, 4 months to 6 months of the year, which is certainly not good. Purely because the rice doesn't last them the whole season, because it's only a very seasonal kind of food source. And then when they do resort to fishing, everybody's fishing, and then that's resulting in overfishing of the waters.
Mm-hmm. Now, here's our project scope. So that's a bit of an overview. The desirable outcome for this project is to provide better food security in Cambodia. Well, yep, that's exactly what this project is about, and we've come up with two pretty viable options. So we've got large-scale vegetable farms, and we also propose the idea of large-scale fish farms. Both seem to be pretty efficient ideas.
So now there are a number of limitations with kind of both these projects. So we've got to consider things like moving heavy machinery through the dense jungle and things over there, and then making sure the roads are maintained and things like that. The climate is also quite, not necessarily unique, but harsh to some vegetables and things like that. So
it's a very tropical climate.
Yeah, exactly. So depending on what we're like, say we decided to start a farm of some description, we'd have to be very precise in what vegetables we chose to plant. And then another big thing would be the availability of new technologies over there. It's not because they're not as an advanced country compared to others, they are still lacking behind in new farming technologies and things like that.
Here's a bit of a problem analysis, so I'm just going to analyse the problem itself here. Now, food security issue, like I said before, it's not a shortage of food, it's limited access to food. And they only face this due to the seasonality of their farming. All of this we've said before, but a good thing to note is the food security problem can't be solved simply by supplying more food.
Yeah, exactly. So, major issues in context. So, factors to consider. So, when we're considering, say, banana farming, fish farming, you've got to consider what these options or solutions you'd call them require. So, fish farms require a lot of water, big dams to be dug, and then banana farms require massive kind of land clearing. So deforestation is already a big problem in Cambodia, which probably wouldn't help if we decided to.
Yeah, because of our ethical guidelines, we're going to have to try and minimise the impact because we're already facing enough problems as is.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, here's some contributing factors. community and the Cambodian government will play key roles, of course, because we're going to require a lot of funding or sourcing for our contractors over there. We're going to require a lot of help from the government. Also, fish farming is going to require full-time maintenance hands, and that may prove a little easier than banana farms to source farmers because of their outstanding fishing industry. And as long as people are actually willing to work farming the fish, there shouldn't be a problem there. The banana farms may need more community involvement than the other solutions because they need to individually plant out all of the banana farms once everything has been cleared, which would be a big job on its own, and it may require a little less maintenance, but it'll be
The initial plantation will
the initial
be
plantation.
massive scale.
Yeah,
So-
it's going to be very large scale. We're going to need a lot of help from the community doing that. A lot of farmers.
Cool. So, design choices. So, we've kind of already briefly touched on them a little bit, but our two big ones are large scale banana farming and large scale fish farming. So, again, both would solve the food security problem because it's very large scale. And yeah,
All right. So here's the design. Here's some benefits of both options because both banana and fish farming they can be done year round. And since we're not trying to tackle so much a shortage of food, but limited access to food, we're really aiming to for something that can be farmed all year round to sort of fill in the gaps where they may not have food during the year. Also, Cambodia already has experience fishing and banana farming because, as we said, during the dry season, they heavily rely on their fishing industry. So they know their way around it, but of course they are being overfished. And also, farming bananas, it's not so much of a large-scale industry in Cambodia, but because it's tropical climate, they've already farmed a lot of bananas.
it's like the perfect climate over
It's
there.
not so much introducing, a new vegetable or something that they won't know how to farm. So it should be easy to source farmers for that too.
Cool. So the analysis of these two solutions, banana farming, we've got a few pros. So they can be done all year round. It's not really weather dependent as long as there's no like natural disasters or anything like that. And it requires quite little maintenance once they're actually planted and everything like that. But then there are some pretty big cons with this. So we've got to do quite large scale deforestation, which is certainly not what we're after, as especially when they've already got a big deforestation problem. And it's not a solely sustainable source of food, bananas, because I
Yeah.
don't know, you can't just eat bananas every day,
Yeah.
all day long.
It's not a big solution in itself because over
Like
the
it would
dry
definitely
season,
help.
you can't rely on bananas
Yeah.
as much as just
Exactly.
eating them.
And fish farming, so you got a few pros for that. So it's again done all year round, and then apart from what the water required, it doesn't really require a whole lot of maintenance, and there is also quite a big fishing market already, so a massive fish industry.
Yeah, and
But-
since we're trying to source, trying to get a lot of community involvement. That's what we're going for.
Yeah, but there is a big con. Need lots of water, and machinery is going to be hard to get in there.
Alright, so now we're at our conceptual design. This is where I'm going to actually talk about what we aim to do. So the first big thing for our project is going to be constructing a dock because since we're going to need a pretty remote location along the big river, the location's still expected to be pretty remote and we need to build a dock so we can get machinery, whether it's already built or we have to disassemble it. We're going to need to get a lot of machinery on that dock. Then next, once we've got the machinery there, we'll need to clear a bit of land, nowhere near as much as a banana farm, of course. And then we'll dig the dams and lay them, fill them up with water, and then we'll actually construct any facilities we may need, housing, accommodation for the farmers working there, treatment plants, anything like that. And then after that, we'll use the dock, which was the initial construction of the project, to export all the fish. we'll throw them all on boats and send them down the river to the capital cities.
Yeah. Another thing that I just want to touch on quickly is that the river is going to be our main source of transport. Rather than building roads, it's going to, again, more deforestation, which is not what we want. So we're just purely going to rely on the river for boats and importing stuff. Anyway,
that was a big thing that really swayed our decision on that. Is the transport, the means of transport, much more efficient to just use the river.
Yeah. Anyway, we'll hand you on to Caleb now. He's got the rest of it.
Hi, I'm Caleb Harris, and I'm going to be discussing the benefits and limitations of the proposed fish farm solution to Cambodia's food security crisis, as well as concluding the project as a whole. So, the benefits of Cambodia's food, the benefits of the fish farm provided. The construction of a large-scale fish farm will prove noticeably beneficial compared to other solutions. Some major benefits include river accessibility, the fact that it will provide year-round food supply, and also boosting the already existing fish industry. Another large benefit to this solution will be community involvement, as the project requires much manpower during the construction and running of the facility, and will require long-term maintenance workers. The benefits of large-scale fish farming greatly outweigh any other proposed solutions. Environmental. Large-scale fish farming proves exponentially beneficial to the environment. With the riverside location, the project will not require roads to be constructed or maintained, reducing deforestation and the carbon footprint overall. Also, fish farms do not require a large amount of acreage, further assisting with Cambodia's already existing deforestation complication. The use of boats for transport of materials and product will largely reduce the carbon footprint because it eliminates the need for transportation via trucks. With minimizing the environmental impact being a major goal for engineers worldwide, the minimized carbon footprint and the minimal deforestation this solution has provided has proven the most environmentally beneficial. Economic. The chosen solution was to construct a large-scale fish farm. With the construction of this fish farm, the design requires that it will be located on the Mekong River in a position with sturdy foundation and be relatively close to Phnom Penh, the capital of Cambodia. It is crucial for the fish farm to be in the location described, as to make the transport of the goods and machinery easy and cost-effective. By using barge boats capable of transporting machinery to the site, this saves any construction or maintenance of roads, reducing the cost of the project. Initial stages of construction require site clearing and the assembly of a dock, which will prove essential for the construction and functionability of the farm itself. With all variables taken into account, this is the most economical solution for optimal transport of building supplies and exports. Social. As well as assisting with the country's already existing food security problem, the project aims for greater community involvement. As the project relies on builders, landscapers, and fish farmers, employees and contractors will be sourced locally as to boost the local economy. Throughout the construction of the fish farm, many job opportunities will arise. Due to the scale of the project, much manpower will be required from the construction of the dams to the construction of the docks. Also, any machinery, equipment, and tools will be locally sourced to save on the cost of transporting. This will also provide a small economy boost to local hardware and contracting businesses. Following the construction of the facility, there will still need to be a number of long-term maintenance workers to maintain the facilities and farm the fish, who will also be locally sourced. This fish farm proposal will be most beneficial and easiest to source employees, as Cambodia has an already large fishing industry. This means employing fishermen will be easier and minimal training will be required. Due to this project targets maximizing security involvement, it proves to be the most socially valuable option. Challenges and limitations. This project will encounter a number of challenges and limitations. However, when compared to other solutions, it will face a significantly lower number of challenges. Due to the required location next to the river, the transportation of materials and fish export will be made easier with the use of boats. However, the location will also present its own array of limitations and drawbacks. By using the river as a primary form of transport to and from the facility, the project will not require roads to be constructed or trucks to transport, lightening overall costs. but sacrificing roads for river transport will require large utility vessels to be hired to transport everything needed. Sourcing boats powerful and capable enough may be more cost-effective, but it means loading and unloading materials and machinery will be more difficult and possibly weather-dependent. Also, due to the location, it is very likely there will be no electricity or satellite reception, meaning the project will require a powerful generator and possibly a radio tower. While the riverside location of the project presents the issues of transportation of materials, machinery and fish, as well as the likelihood of no access to electricity, this proposal is not expected to encounter any other major limitations or setbacks. Alright. Conclusion. Cambodia has a major ongoing food security dilemma which comes as a result of overfishing, deforestation, poor hygiene and poor education. In order to address this, multiple projects were brainstormed and the one that was most beneficial was chosen and proposed as a solution. The brainstorm projects included a large-scale banana farm and a large-scale fish farm. It was decided that the large-scale fish farm would be most beneficial due to there already being a market for fish, as well as it would resolve the overfishing problem. A design for the fish farm was proposed to be a large pond which the locals could keep and renew using their own locally sourced materials in order to prevent dependence on imported resources. The fish farm is believed to be a viable solution to the ongoing food security dilemma, as well as it would assist in providing food for the locals, as well as reducing the current overfishing issue.